TheBigBadBank.com is his website. He's George Hunt. Again, TheBigBadBank.com, one word. Check it out. We'll tell you about a great documentary he produced coming up later that you can get on the site, TheBigBadBank.com. Of course, our websites are Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, and PrisonPlanet.tv, as well as Infowars.net, and WhatIsTheEndgame.com. My film Endgame exposes this globalist dehumanization agenda that they're pushing through the phony environmental movement. This is the religion of the big bankers. We're going to get into their religion, what makes them tick. George Hunt has tracked them, been in their meetings, been around them by a twist of fate and the good Lord above. We've got a bunch of audio clips we're going to be playing and getting his take on that as well. But for years, he was exposing Maurice Strong before it ever even became a mainstream media issue. But give me a document cam shot for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers, and for radio listeners, I'll give you these headlines so you can check them out for yourself. The article he mentioned from Fox with Maurice Strong being confronted by the news for making lots of money off of Copenhagen. So that's going on. Here's an article out of Reuters. Rothschild E3 launched carbon credit investment fund that people will pay their taxes to. That's Reuters. Everything he was talking about 20 years ago. Here's another one. Maurice Strong linked to all these bizarre cults. We're going to be covering that with him as well. His wife setting up a Gaia Earth religion. The UN said in 96 in their biological diversity assessment, and I even have a clip of them at the UN saying we must worship our mother goddess. And now they're teaching the children these chants in public schools and private schools that are accredited, and they now admit it's going to be a global religion. In fact, where are those magazines I had in here? I guess I've already cleaned it up. Will you ask Aaron, because he took them out? No. Here they are. Here they are. Look at this. There's so many of these. I just thought to show you this. Here is Outside Magazine likening the new heir of the Rothschild family, the son of the person that George Hunt was exposing. Here he is, the hero gene, how to tap into yours. And then you open it up, and it talks about him being like Jesus. You open it up, and it talks about him being a Christ figure. I mean, this is just so incredibly sickening. They call him Jesus here. Give me a close shot of this. Plastics Jesus, the Savior. How to be a hero. And again, here they are on the cover of the magazine, the hero gene, how to tap into yours. This is your role model. The guy that got on my show, he's openly called for global government, by the way, at Copenhagen on Bloomberg TV. A guy who got on my show, and I said, well, Mars's ice caps have been getting smaller, too, from solar system warming from the sun. And he said, well, that's because Mars is closer to the sun than Earth. And I said, no, it's not. It's the next planet out. Then it's the gas giants. He said, no, it's not, and laughed at me. He was laughing at the audience. He thinks you're like the general public. Here's another one. The thinking man's thinking man. The eco-prophet gets real. Al Gore. See, he's a prophet. It's all a religion, but that's coming up. And he's going to be with us at least 20 minutes to the next hour because there's so many facets to cover. George Hunt, before we get into the religious angle and the scams they're running, I want to play some audio clips and get into some of the other questions you sent me that you think are important to get into. But working with them, being around them, then finding out who they were, tracking them. What is their bottom line? I mean, I don't know if you've seen my film Endgame, but from the UN documents, from their statements, it's a planetary dictatorship to then carry out the orderly extermination of at least 80% of the world population.
You know, you caught me at a standstill. I'm not familiar with that.
Well, I need to send you a copy of my film Endgame, but specifically their plans for population reduction. Did you ever run into that?
Well, I have. Yes, I have, but it's rather grim. I believe that World Health Organization has included a AIDS virus into their inoculations that they're doing for the good of mankind, of course. And that's why we're seeing the population dying of AIDS in Africa.
Well, they've been caught. Yes, that's on record.
A sister country of Rwanda said the bank Credit Lyonnais They've since gone out of business, but they're the ones that financed the Rwandan massacre. They sent it to the president of Rwanda, who was working with them. And, I come across these terrible things that are going on the planet even while we speak. It's terrible.
Well, we know the UN was involved in financing the Rwandan massacre of Christians because they wanted their property for big oil companies and mining companies and financed by banks. Not particularly familiar with the bank you mentioned, but what type of world do they want to build? And how are they using environmentalism to sell the public on giving up their rights?
They are gearing society towards a feudalistic society, in my opinion, where they'll have lords of the manors, the Duchess of Boulder and the Queen of Las Vegas. They'll adopt titles and stuff. They'll go into a feudalistic society similar to what we had in the Middle Ages. And they will also introduce the worship of Mother Earth as part of the religion, so that we will somehow tie in the religion with acceptance of the world order. That's all I can say vaguely about where they're headed.
Now, I've got these audio clips, and then I want to get into some of their religious beliefs and I mean, having psychics vet you to be able to go to the conference, the secret conference. I mean, just the bizarreness. And that sounds crazy to people that don't research them, but openly UN documents talk about the occult and how much they believe in it. How would you sum up their Earth religion? I mean, because that's a broad title, Earth religion. We see the new movie Avatar. It's all about an Earth religion. But I mean, how would you sum up their Earth religion?
Honey Strong, Maurice Strong's wife, is the head of the Earth religion cult. Crestone, Colorado has been chosen as the center because that is where the Eastern religions meet the Western religions. They say that's the point there where God is going to have sexual intercourse with Mother Earth to bring forth the Christ. That's what they believe. Hello? Did I knock you off your seat?
No, I'm listening.
Sorry. Okay.
No. I mean, I've been to Bohemian Grove. I infiltrated it, and they address the owl as an owl, then as a bull, as Moloch. They address it as male and female. The owl is the female, and the cults are all a little bit different. And then the bull is the male, and they talk about how they sacrifice children in goodly tire, that's a quote, to the Moloch, the bull, but then they also address it as a female. And so they always see it as the horned god, the male, and then the female, and they address it as that, and they believe in this Illuminati balance, and that, yes, they kill, but they also bring life. And it's really just a rationale for all the things they do.
Yeah, you've got the core of it right there, Alex. But it's starting in Maurice Strong country, and we've learned already we can't trust him, so you know that this religion, and they will get it through, the Big Brother religion, they will process the minds of our children in the schools, such as they have Al Gore rushing into the first grades and telling them how chicken licking stories about the earth is going to fall apart.
Well, he's also on audio at huge elementary school conferences in the auditorium saying, tell your parents what to do. They don't know you're the boss. And the New York Times reports they've got kids all over the country writing mock tickets to their parents for taking a hot bath.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to train them to blow the whistle on their parents. Same thing that you read. I urge your listeners to reread 1984. There are a lot of parallels there, including the Earth religion. They in 1984 they worship Big Brother, but in this case it'll be Big Sister.
Well, we have another article at JonesReport.com that's a scan from this Outside Magazine article, and it's got a photo of David the Rothschild wearing a Skull and Bones belt. It says he's Jesus, but he's also wearing a skull and crossbones belt. What do you think of that?
Well, as a Christian, I would immediately be repulsed by it. I don't know what he was saying to the public. I didn't know if he was mocking Jesus Christ like some of the Orthodox Jews do. But the gist is that they're out to capture the minds of people. This is a mind game that we're involved in. InfoWars.
They use guilt over the environment to sell people into giving up their rights to them.